Hi everyone. When this whole thing started, I was just very aware that it was going to be important to hang on to truth. There was so much news and stories and did we even know and conjecture and information flying around. And so I put together a kind of like a declaration, I guess, a manifesto of some of the amazing truth there is in the Bible about our God and about who we are and about who he is. I've been sort of coming back to it again and again over the last few weeks. And so, yeah, I want to share it with you as well. And I hope that some of the truth in here really speaks to your heart as it has done to mine. I'm reading it off my laptop screen, so apologies, I'm not actually quite looking at you. This is for all of us. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble. He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth. He walks in the recesses of the deep. He calls the stars by name, and all in the temple cry, Holy! What is man that you are mindful of us? But higher than the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not suffer your foot to be moved. He has commanded his angels over you, that they guard you in all your ways. He will never leave you or forsake you. He will never slumber or sleep. He is there on the far side of the sea, and in the belly of the whale, and in the valley of the shadow of death. He is still the God who sees, the God who calms the storm, the God who whispers in a still small voice, the God who summons us by name. You are mine. It is he who ordains all our days. They were written in his book before one of them came to be. We were chosen before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in his sight, for good deeds created in advance for us to do. He knit us together in our mother's wombs. In him we live and move and have our being, and to our old age and grey hairs he will carry us. My salvation and my honour depend on God. My inheritance is from the Lord. He establishes the work of our hands. The Lord builds the house. His mighty power is at work in us. He will carry on his good work to completion. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. He makes us lie down in green pastures. He who is in me is greater than he who is in the world. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His understanding no one can fathom. He gives and takes away. But none can snatch us out of the palm of his hand. He works out all things in conformity with the purpose of his will. His plans are to prosper, not to harm. Though the fig tree does not bud, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God my Saviour. I know that my Redeemer lives, and I shall stand. And nothing shall separate us from the love of Christ. And there is no condemnation for those who are in Jesus. And the Spirit intercedes for us with groans words cannot express. And Jesus wants us to be with him where he is. And he rejoices over us with singing and quiets us with love. And he prepares a place for us. And he gathers us in his arms. And every hair on our heads is numbered. And we are worth more than many sparrows. And whatever was meant to harm us is turned to our good. And he is able to keep us from falling. We were born for such a time as this. So act justly and love mercy and walk humbly with your God. And all things work together for good for those who love him. Amen.